Okay, so um I'm a little nervous about this one, y'all. This is the most complex, dumb thing to happen in a while. Um, cause it's really fucking stupid. The whole thing is really fucking stupid. At the same time, it allows us to engage with numerous really important and complex issues. I feel like a gossip channel right now, right? And at the same time, I'm like, I think people do want to hear what I have to say. I feel slightly frustrated by some of the discourse around the whole thing. Um and and like, we gotta chase those that algorithm love a little bit. I'm not gonna let something this ridiculous slide without saying something. So to try to be like the best way I could figure out, because I can't just talk about one part of this conversation, and I also couldn't keep track of it. So I made a tier list. All right, everybody see the tier list? I made a hot take tier list, and it's gonna be some familiar faces on it, some random stuff. So let's get to something a little more important. I want to bring Katanji Brown. Ooh, Katanji, I might be saying her name wrong. This represents the protect Black women hot take, and that goes in A tier right now. And I feel like I'm not going to spend a ton of time here either, because I feel like this is a take that's out there for everybody to see at this point. I don't know how many, unfortunately, cishet Black men are making this point, but I want to make sure I make this point. A lot of Black women are, what's the word I'm looking for? They appreciate this public image of seeing a Black man stand up for his Black wife, and I take nothing away from that, even the criticism I'm going to have later. And there's a lot of argument, and we'll get to this later, about Jada needs to just take a joke, and of course, there's a lot of criticisms that we can have about Jada, which I'll get to later. I heard one dude try to argue. I saw one dude try to argue that Black women aren't a protected class and therefore shouldn't be immune to jokes. And I want to engage with that logic real quick. And before I do that, let me put up the next tier that's kind of with this, which is Black women in their hair. So I just grabbed a random attractive picture of attractive woman with some 4C curls going on. It was a 4A. I used to know this. I would love to live in a world where we could just wantonly crack jokes on anybody, where I wouldn't have to feel like I have a really funny joke to say about, I don't know, insert Black female celebrity here. I would love that world, right? But here's the thing. When people say, and this is Malcolm, this is not a new thing. Like Malcolm X said 70 years ago that Black women are the most unprotected people in this country, if not the world. Wendy Williams, yes. Oh man, I got so much heat for Wendy Williams. Well, now she's like 6, so I got less heat. But I would love that, right? Because let's understand, like, Black women are people. They do funny things. They have bad takes. They do goofy stuff sometimes. And it would be nice to just, like everybody else, and get them jokes, y'all can get them jokes. But here's the thing. When you go on Twitter, when you go on YouTube, when you go out in the world and you consistently see the way that Black women are treated, it changes that framework, because it's not even. You can't just, it's that whole equity versus equality image. When we get to a point where Black women are the butt of so many jokes, often at the behest of Black men, when that doesn't feel like a genre, a whole genre of comedy. Some of the biggest Black channels on YouTube are essentially dedicated to making fun of black women. And it's not in no love, right? Like there's a way that Chris Rock could have made a joke about Jada. Chris Rock could have made a Dora Milaje reference and made it, and got hand claps for making that connection because people would have got the picture. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways to do that, but the reality is black women are easy to punch down on because they're black and because they're women. They're in that specific intersection where they have to deal with black shit and woman shit. And you can't just poo-poo that and say fair is fair because ain't shit fair. You know what I'm saying? Ain't shit been fair. And I don't know, like, there's some people that understand that and there's some people that don't. And this is not to say that black women not gonna catch these jokes. Y'all catch these jokes all the time. But generally speaking, if the joke feels like it comes from a place of love, it ain't no problems, is it? If the joke comes from a place of love, no matter who the population is most of the time, we don't have these problems. Niggas don't get up to slap you on the stage. So we can't disengage that. And I use Ketanji Brown because we talking about on the Supreme Court steps at this point. We talking about the highest of offices or, statuses or whatever. And she still got up there and it was a clown show by the Republican Party. You know what I'm saying? So like that just kind of puts it in perspective. I want to bring up two takes that I really appreciated from Shark Zero and Shark 300. Make sure I'm saying this man's name right. Yeah, Shark 300 and Cat Black. So they go in A tier. And so let me find Shark's joint real quick. And they both had similar takes. They both made similar points. All right, so Shark said, and here's where we get a little testy, and I'm gonna need y'all to just ride with me for a second. So Shark says it's not good when men feel the need to resort to violence to get even. That attitude is why we see domestic violence and wonder where it comes from. These people aren't just evil. We tell them it's what real men do, and it's fun until it's not. Don't reinforce it, right? And then Cat Black made a similar statement. Let me make sure I'm still showing y'all. Okay. She said, I think we should really unpack why protection often looks so much like patriarchy. On one hand, I appreciate the fact that my partner is willing to get into a physical fight to defend me. I would only want him to do that if I were being physically attacked. And I personally, I'm not saying this take is not out there, but I personally have not seen that take enough. From my point of view. Both of those takes engage with something that is, I think, really under engaged with in these circles, leftist circles, social media, black manosphere, whatever. Imagine this world real quick. Chris Rock makes this joke, not cool. Will Smith's not feeling it. And instead of, maybe he says a little something, maybe he gives him a look, maybe he gives him one of these, like, nah, don't do that. But he stays his ass in his seat. He knows he's getting ready to go on stage in 20 minutes to give his award speech. He knows he's winning that award. I'm pretty sure officially he knows. I'm pretty sure they come and give you the award beforehand or whatever. And instead of smacking Chris Rock on stage, emasculating that man, which we'll come back to, which is somebody said, whatever it was Ricky Gervais, he wouldn't have did that to Ricky Gervais. He wouldn't have did that to The Rock. He did that to Chris Rock for a reason. We'll come back to that. Imagine instead if during his speech that he won for playing a black father who did X, Y, and Z to protect and develop his daughters, that he took a moment to say, by the way, black women go through enough to not get insulted on stage by their peers. and we need to do something about that. 30-second throwaway line, protect black women. The end. We would have drugged Chris Rock a little bit the next day, and Will Smith would have got a standing ovation, and that'd have been it, and the world would have been a better place. Because for Will Smith to smack that man and take that route was not about Jada Pinkett. That was about Will Smith. That was about Will Smith finding a space to feel manly and masculine, to reclaim some of the power, that has been taken away from him publicly by this man right here that I just put on next to him. Now, although I do not think there's anything wrong with Will and Jada's way they handle their relationship, right? You cannot lie at the fact that the public as a whole has been disrespecting Will Smith based on the entanglement and the way Jada has, been, what's the word I'm looking for? She has not protected Will publicly very well. She just hasn't. Point blank, period. And so Will very, very much knew that he could smack Chris Rock and get away with it. You can see how he did it. He walked up there, he smacked him, and he walked back. He didn't even stand there to square up just in case. You know what I'm saying? Like, generally speaking, you don't smack a man like that unless you know you're not about to get hit back. Period. And he knew that. But he for something in Will, that broken space that he's in, he needed that moment. So he took it. He didn't care about the fact that I don't think Jada wanted to be protected like that. I'll come back to that in a second. He didn't care about what that was going to do to he did get away with it. How did he not get away with it? He got his award. He getting drugged, but like getting drugged don't mean nothing to rich niggas, to rich people in general. And they're not going to take it. They're not going to take the award from him. But getting back to my point, getting back to what Shark and Cat Black are getting at. From a black man's standpoint, it often feels like as you want to disentangle patriarchy from the way you move in the world, you notice how much you get celebrated when you do some classically patriarchal shit. Be mad at me if you want, or don't be mad at me. Let me pull out everyone's favorite, some people's least favorite. Where's she at? Where I'm at? I got a bell hooks quote for y'all ass real quick. Hold up. She says, black males today lie in a world that pays them the most attention when they are violently acting out. So what she's getting at here is that the way some of y'all are celebrating Will is completely juxtaposed the way people dragged Will after the entanglement. Will gets drugged for the entanglement, gets drugged for the other stuff that he went through with Jada, gets drugged a little bit for the actual movie, smacks a dude on stage, and suddenly it's, that's how we do it. Then that's all wrong. That's all wrong. And I'm not saying don't protect black women. What I'm saying is if your like ideal of protecting black women is having niggas fight and like smack niggas all across the way, I'm gonna need you to interrogate where that comes from. Point blank, period. Because that's as Cat Black alluded to, is highly patriarchal. That's where that comes from. Especially for a dude like Will Smith, who had plenty of opportunity to exert power in other ways. He chose to smack Chris Rock, as I said earlier, because it was an act of dominance that he's been feeling denied for the last couple of years. Oh, so I just want to point out, so we shouldn't be celebrating that. Because like niggas not like violence is different for men in period. Like the celebration of violence by men, especially black men, is really complex because, as Hooks just pointed out, you see all these viral videos. White dude says the N-word, black dude smacks. Yeah, that's what you get. We are not our ancestors and all that, kind of goofy shit. They don't show you all the times that a brother tried to smack somebody and then got shot. That a brother tried to fight somebody and then went too far and went to jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't protect nothing if you're dead or in jail. So like all this rhetoric about protect black women is completely true. But unless folks are in physical danger, like don't put a battery in your, like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't know any black women in relationships with black men that would not do everything in their power to keep their black men from getting physical under any circumstances, because they know that one moment might be the last moment. Then he can't protect shit. Just keeping it a buck. So I need, I've seen that take a lot, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna need y'all to interrogate that. It's not gonna be my place to say it outside of the fact that I just said it, but I need y'all to interrogate that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody just said, we just have to look like we're gonna do something. Boy, y'all don't understand. Y'all do not understand the relationship that black men have to violence, how much disproportionately black men are exposed to violence. If you teach, I taught in tough schools, the boys always fought less than the girls because the boys understand that each fight might be their last. Ain't nobody gonna break up a boy fight. You feel me? Does that make sense? Like, when you see, if there's a fight going on in any situation, there's two boys, it's this. Let them fight. And if it's two girls, they break it up. That's patriarchy. And that's one of the ways in which patriarchy, we kind of let it slide. And it's like, no, don't let that shit slide. We can't do that. And this is a take I haven't seen enough of. This is why I'm kind of dwelling on this one. Like, Will could have did so many more things to protect his wife. He went with the one that made him feel the best. You know what I'm saying? And yes, to acknowledge again, if anybody's late, he was also triggered because he has a sensitivity to that because of his own traumas. Woo, all right.